Hey guys, we are the youth of Costa Mesa Spanish, and this little segment is called Real Stories, Real Faith. Every story matters. Today we share a testimony not just to tell a story, but to remind you that you are not alone. When we open up about what we lived through, we open doors for others to see that they are understood, valued, and connected. This testimony is more than words. It's a bridge to hope, to healing, and to the God who never leaves us.
Hi, I'm Marilyn. Um, I did not grow up in church. I grew up in a Catholic-ish home. Um, it was more like a traditional thing, more of like if my grandma and grandpa were Catholic, I was automatically the same. Um, my dad was an atheist. He firmly believed that if you join a religion, that I should do it because I want to be part of that. And so I never really was like a part of church. I then, just kind of went through life doing my own thing. Once I got into my teens, that things started getting rocky at home with my parents. They started they split up, and I just had more like of the responsibility of raising my brother, and I think that took a huge toll on me. That I had to just grow up and not didn't really have the time to be like a teenager. And I started making friends at school that were introducing me to different things, different scenes. And some of them I liked, some of them I really just threw myself into because it was something that made me feel good. Eventually, after like in college, or not even in college, like literally after high school, because of the life I was living, because I let myself be guided by what everybody else was doing, that I got kicked out of my house and was living in my car, even living or breaking into houses that were like up for rent for other people or for like sale or whatever, and I would just break into the houses and I would sleep in there with like other friends. We'd throw parties in there.
You would say you found yourself in those situations because of your friends, or how'd you find yourself in that situation?
I think it was just the influences that I was around with. I look at it now and I'm like, yeah, that was kind of a wild thing for me. Do I regret it? Not really, because I wouldn't be here without those events. I didn't know, but like my mom was praying for us when she came to church. I was very angry at her, so I didn't really talk to her. I I feel like I used her more than I wanted to be her daughter at that point. I used her.
In what sense?
In the sense that I would use her financially for her to give me money for literally for all the habits that I had. So like I would be like, "Hey mom, I need this for school," and she would give me money and I would go spend it on drugs.
Your mom kind of knew what she was like giving you the money for, or you think she didn't really have an idea?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I would like to think that she knew somehow, but I don't know because maybe I don't know if she knew how like in the dark of a hole I was. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like because I was so overwhelmed with everything in my life and I was taking care of so much at home with my dad too, that I just kind of let myself fall into a hole and then just put like a mask on that everything was okay.
So you feel like nobody really kind of knew what you were going through?
In a sense, yeah. But I try not to blame anybody for that because at the end of the day, these were choices that I decided to take. These were choices that were making me feel good in a sense. And at that time, it was more of like just surviving. I feel like that turning point for me kind of came when I left the city that I was living in, and especially when my sister was born. I think it was a big turning point for me and my brother because we realized like this kid is like growing into our lives, we've been huge messes, and we don't want her to see that. So we decided, like maybe it's time for some change. Maybe it's time to show that we have some type of maturity in us. And so we just kind of like kept going, pushed some things to the side, and decided that we were gonna put our heads down and like work on ourselves. As for my faith, like I think the one of my biggest obstacles was not feeling like I was worthy of God's love. I think that was my biggest thing because it took me about, once I started coming to church, it took me about like 2 or 3 years for me to get baptized and be like, yeah, like this is where I belong, because I just felt like I was not good enough for God. Like he needed me to be a certain type of way to be part of him. Like I needed to be this image that I had in my head of perfection, that if I couldn't reach it, I couldn't let myself go to him. There's one in particular where there's a pastor. I don't know his name, but he's like really popular amongst the older heads. He came to talk at the academy a couple years ago, or more than a couple. Yeah, it was like before COVID, and like I remember he filled up the whole gym, and there was like a massive line to like get baptized. And I remember sitting in the crowd and him calling out to people, and like he was like, "Hey, like I know there's somebody out there that he's calling for you. Like it's time." And I remember just sitting in the crowd, um, holding onto my chair, like literally like gripping onto the chair because I wanted to get up. I really wanted to get up, but I think it was my pride that was not letting me stand up. I remember like crying, like fighting it. Oh my gosh, I feel like crying. No, but I remember like crying, like tears, and I remember the hermana Gama like looking at me, and then like later, like once we left, telling me like, "Mija, I saw you. Like I saw the fight. Like I've never." I was just like when she said that she saw me like that, I'm like, dang, like that's crazy that like you visibly see somebody wanting to go to Jesus, but like fighting their own demons, like because I was fighting my own demons, and I let them win that day. I let them win that day. I remember that there was a day, it was really random too, the day I decided to get baptized, because nobody at church knew that I was going to get baptized that day. It kind of just, I remember I was supposed to go camping with some friends, and I kind of like bailed on them. And I was like, hey, like, I don't think I want to go. And I had asked for the weekend off at church or at work. And I told him, hey, like, I can come back to work on Sunday. I just want to keep Saturday. That's it. And I came to church and I was like, hey, can I get baptized today? And they're like, oh, what a coincidence. We have somebody else getting baptized. And I was like, no way. It kind of all just happened, and I ended up getting baptized.
So after you got baptized, did you instantly like want to get involved, or do you think you just kind of sat in the background for a little bit? Or what do you think? How did that go about? How did you get to like actually wanting to be involved? You help out a lot.
I think it just happened. I think it just happened. Things just happened, and I just said yes to a lot of things. A lot of the time, I didn't know what I was doing. I think the first two times I kind of gave up and stepped down because I had no idea what I was doing. And eventually, I just kind of was like, well, nobody else is stepping up, so might as well step up. A lot of the acquaintances that I've made along the way, that I've seen how they move, and I like the way they move, and I see that it's very impactful. And the one thing that I've known about me since I was since I was small was that I've always wanted to help people. That's something that I've always known. And I think that doing this, helping the youth, has been my way of helping people. I think that's why I've been so like devoted to it. I think that mentality took me a while to get to. I don't think that even came at all at that time. I think at that time I was still very much making baby, like being, it was like a baby, like they don't know anything, and they're very much relying on what others were saying. I didn't really like know how to go around being a like Christian. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to come to church. It's literally like a nice little recharge coming here.
Do you think like there's a change in your perspective about church?
Yes, a big change. Definitely a big change.
Like, how can you describe it in a sense? Like to somebody that kind of doesn't come here, how would you describe that?
It's funny because the feeling is not going to be instant. It's not an instant change. It's definitely a feeling that came with over time. It wasn't like overnight where I was just like, "Yay, we're here." It definitely took me time to adjust, and to realize that I wasn't coming for the people. I wasn't coming for anybody else. I was coming here for myself. And I think because I came to the realization that it was about me coming to church for me and coming for the relationship that I'm building with God, that I was able to change my mindset into enjoying the community that comes with that faith that I now have.
Nicely put. Well, Mari, we appreciate you giving your testimony. Is there anything else you want to say to to the people before?
Um,
Last final words.
if you're scared of coming to church because you're scared of what people are going to say, don't worry about what they're saying. They're fighting their own battles. And most of the time, they don't even know what they're talking about when they speak about you. Focus on you. Because, like we said in earlier Bible study, the smaller you become and you let Him fill you, He like will literally magnify who you are, and He makes you bigger than anything else. So forget about all the noise you hear from people speaking poorly about you, because people will speak poorly about you inside of church or outside of church. The world is nasty, but at the end of the day, you gotta find the goodness in everybody. And when you have God with you, which what are you worried about? Just do you.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you feel inclined to share your story with us, please reach out on our Instagram at CM Youth. Thank you.